Well, it's been a great week here. Hopefully, you all are enjoying being out here in London. Exciting win last week, and we're excited about the game Sunday. Happy to answer any questions.
Greg, what are the benefits for the Broncos organization of playing international games?
We're excited to be here in London again. It's been a few years just to represent the NFL, help grow the game. As our coach has said, Sean's been clear. He also likes these opportunities for the team to be together for a week. So, but again, just happy to be here representing the NFL.
Do you have any input when you guys are going to have a home game? Do you get to pick the year, or they just say, hey, we want you this year, and you just kind of have to go with it?
Yeah, so every 8 years, each team is required to play one of their home games over here. So that isn't this game for us. We give input to every team has some input to the schedule, and we said we're open to playing a game overseas. We knew the two opportunities would potentially be this game or against the Colts in Berlin.
You've spent time running a company with an international presence. Do you think it's important for the Broncos to have this kind of footprint?
I do. I think it's, we're always looking for ways to grow our fan base. And as you all know, our formal home market is Mexico. And so any chance we have to connect with new fans in different ways, we think is helpful for the club.
Greg, do you view a return to London, where you guys were 3 years ago, as any kind of reflection point for how far this team has kind of come since then, both on the field and off? And what are you kind of most proud of the growth that you've seen since that?
Yeah, we're a completely different team and different leadership, different quarterback. And, since that time, I think bringing in Sean and having him really build a strong culture of high expectations, winning, competitiveness. We're on a different trajectory, and the roster's different, leadership's different. It is an interesting inflection point.
How have you seen the group so far sort of handle external expectations that are higher than they've been in past seasons?
I think we've handled it really well. Sean's not going to shy away from setting high expectations. I think our team has really embraced that, and these are guys that want to be successful, and they're not afraid of setting those expectations and then doing the work that's required every week to get there and achieve our objectives.
In that regard, Greg, that Eagles win, did that rank maybe as either maybe being the Chiefs at home and ending that streak, but where did that Eagles win rank, and is that kind of the trajectory you were hoping for this team? That when you talked to us at the end of last season, it's not to make the playoffs, it's to get there and do damage.
Yeah, I said to the team after the game in the locker room how proud we were of that win. I mean, it wasn't looking great there for a few quarters, and this team has shown a lot of resilience and was able to bounce back at the end of the game. And I think it just shows, again, the competitive nature of this team and willingness to keep fighting. And those are the games. If we want to achieve our objectives, we've got to win those types of games.
Greg, the announcement of Burnham Yard as the preferred site for a new stadium. How important is the community engagement element of that in terms of reaching out to the surrounding neighborhoods, and kind of what are the next steps there?
Yeah, it's really critical. I mean, we've been overwhelmed with the support and interest and excitement that we've gotten since the preferred site announcement. And certainly with it's the first step in the process. We got a long way to go. So the next step is really engaging with community leaders, working on a small area plan. We've had a lot of outreach to city council members. We've talked with them on the phone. Carrie's met with a number of them. So we're going to keep that going. And our goal is to be very open with the process and transparent. And we think we have a real opportunity to create something special, not just with the stadium, but the development around it for the city of Denver and all of our fans.
Hey, Greg, as it pertains to the district around the stadium, are those two parallel tracks, or do you view it as sort of one project in terms of, approvals, construction, all of that? Like, do they happen simultaneously, or are they on different?
So the approvals will happen on the same time frame. So we'll present the whole plan as we work through this with the mayor and city council and community leaders. In terms of the development, they'll be staged somewhat differently. So obviously, the stadium has a hard date where you want to get it open. We can play games. Some of the development will be tied to that, but it'll be a much longer time frame for that all to get done.
Greg, do you have a timeline on when a stadium plan will get finalized that they'll work with? Have you hired a contractor, one of the big firms that designs it?
Yeah, we're still in the early phases of design. We've got a number of consultants we're working with. We have not selected a contractor yet, but we've got world-class architects that we're talking to, and no hard date yet on when we're gonna hire those folks.
Greg, if everything goes well, training facility going construction-wise, what's the update there?
Really good. So we're about 60% complete. Everything's on budget and on plan, which is somewhat unusual for these projects, but we've got a great team of people, Amy D and Damani and a number of others who are involved in managing that. And we're excited. We're on track to have that complete in May. And I think it's going to be great for our organization.
Greg, if everything goes well, what are your thoughts about Denver potentially holding the Super Bowl as soon as February of 33?
We'd certainly be excited about that. As we're thinking about the stadium, our first and primary focus is on what's best for our team, our players, and our fans. Then you get to the next step of, okay, we want to have some flexibility. It's the reason why we're looking at a retractable roof. You know, our intent is for our football games to be played with the roof open in the elements, and the exception will be to close the roof. But it does, would give us the flexibility to host events like Super Bowls, concerts, other events, and that's something we'd be excited about.
Time for a few more for Greg.
Is a Super Bowl part of your formal planning and all this?
No, not trying to. That's not what's driving the planning for the stadium or our timeline.
When you took this over, you talked about, like, we're not going to always be huge in free agency. We're going to pick and choose our spots when we're ready. But you've also invested heavily in core players. How were those decisions made in terms of reflection if we're going to do this right? Like, what was your thinking as an owner when you start writing, kind of check after check after check to these core guys?
Yeah, I mean, we want to be a place that young players can come, they can develop, and if they are on that track and they're doing things the right way, we're going to reward them with contracts, and we want them here long term. So what you've seen, I think George and his staff, along with Sean, we've identified the players that we really want to build around, and we're gonna give them the contracts that make sense to do that, and hopefully have them here for as much of their football careers as can be.
Greg, a chance to play at Tottenham Stadium, since you are in the early phases of design for the new stadium, is there a chance to kind of see a state-of-the-art multi-use facility and maybe get some ideas there?
Yeah, any stadium we play in, we look for things that we like and things that we don't like. Carrie and I actually came and toured Tottenham when we were here for our first trip a number of years ago. So that was one of the stadiums we looked at early on as we were thinking about different ideas. And Tottenham has some really interesting elements, including the way they do the two fields. But yeah, any stadium that we visit, we're going to look for things we can learn from.
Last question, Susie.
Oh, mine was going to be just that. I see you guys at every opposing stadium. What do you kind of look for, fan experience-wise, player-wise, things like that?
Yeah, we really want an experience that's loud. I mean, we want it to be a place that opposing teams don't want to come play. We have some of that, obviously, with a competitive football team and playing at elevation. But if we can also make it really loud and imposing, that's something we look at. And then we look for, again, ways that we can make the fan experience as great as it can possibly be.